Stop for a second. Close your eyes and picture the Virgin Mary. What do you see? I'm willing to bet you see a teenage girl. Maybe she's holding a baby. Maybe she's looking down. Silent, passive, gentle. A figure of absolute peace. Now open your eyes, because that image, while true, is dangerous. It's dangerous because it's incomplete. If you only see the gentle mother, you are missing the other half of the picture. The half that terrified the ancient world and continues to terrify the spiritual underworld today. The Catholic Church actually teaches something that sounds like it belongs in a sci-fi novel rather than a Sunday school class. That this teenage girl is the single most powerful weapon in the universe against the forces of darkness. She isn't just a mother. She is a general. She is a warrior queen more feared by the devil than any archangel, any saint, or any army in history. This isn't pious poetry. It isn't an exaggeration. It is a cold, hard theological reality rooted in the deepest texts of the Bible and confirmed by the chilling testimony of modern-day exorcists. Today, we are going to strip away the soft, pastel colors of the nativity scene and look at the gritty, terrifying reality of spiritual warfare. We are going to explore why the devil hates her, why he fears her, and why, if you are fighting battles in your own life, whether it's addiction, depression, or just the chaos of the modern world, you need her on your front lines. Let's be honest with each other. You feel it, don't you? You feel that tension. There is a sense that things are fraying at the edges. The Apostle Peter wasn't speaking in metaphors when he warned that your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. That word devour is visceral. It implies tearing apart. We see this tearing apart everywhere, in our culture, in our fractured families, and in the anxiety that keeps you awake at 3 a.m. This is a war. It is a cosmic conflict for your soul, intended to steal your peace and destroy your destiny. It feels overwhelming. It feels like we are outgunned. But here is the strategic genius of God. He didn't leave us alone on the battlefield. He designed a countermeasure. He created a specific instrument to break the pride of the enemy, and he wrapped that power in the form of a humble woman. To understand this, we have to go back, way back, before the Gospels, before the prophets, to the very first pages of human history, the Garden of Eden, the moment everything went wrong. Adam and Eve have fallen. The serpent, Satan, thinks he has won. He has corrupted God's masterpiece. But then God speaks. In Genesis 3:15, God turns to the serpent and drops a nuclear bomb of a prophecy. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. They will strike at your head, while you strike at their heel. I want you to focus on that word, enmity. In the original Hebrew, this isn't just a disagreement. It isn't a rivalry. Enmity means total, absolute, biological opposition. It is the relationship between a mongoose and a cobra. They cannot exist in peace. One must destroy the other. God is declaring a state of total war. And notice the combatants. It isn't God versus the serpent. That wouldn't be a fair fight. It is the woman versus the serpent. For 2,000 years, theologians have identified this woman as Mary. She is the fulfillment of the prophecy. Think about the symmetry here. Satan's defining characteristic is pride. His famous cry is non serviam, I will not serve. He refused to bow. Now look at Mary. Her defining characteristic is humility. Her response to God was fiat, let it be done. She bowed completely. They are metaphysical opposites. You cannot have light and dark in the same room. Where she enters, he must leave. She is the antivirus to his malware. This war spans the entire Bible. It starts in Genesis, and it ends in the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 12, the curtain is pulled back on the spiritual realm. St. John sees a vision that is frankly terrifying. He sees a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She is powerful, cosmic, royal, and she is in labor. Standing before her is a great red dragon. This isn't a cartoon. It's a depiction of pure malice. The text explicitly identifies this dragon as the ancient serpent, the devil. He is waiting to devour her child the moment it is born. This is the climax of history. The dragon versus the queen. The child, Jesus, conquers the dragon. But the war doesn't end there. The scripture says the dragon, enraged by his defeat, went off to make war on the rest of her offspring. That is us, you and me. If you are trying to keep the commandments, if you are trying to hold on to truth, you are target number one. The dragon is hunting you. But the vision in Revelation gives us the key to survival. We are her offspring. We belong to the woman clothed in the sun. We are not just refugees. We are under the protection of the queen. But why her? Why did God choose a human woman for this role? Why not just send Michael the archangel and be done with it? The answer lies in the ancient concept of the new Eve. The first Eve was created without sin. She was approached by a fallen angel, Lucifer. She listened to his lies. She doubted God. And her disobedience tied a knot that strangled humanity. Mary is the new Eve. She too was created without sin, what we call the Immaculate Conception. She was approached by a holy angel, Gabriel. She listened to the truth, she trusted God, and her obedience untied the knot of Eve. This is why the devil hates her so much. It's personal. She is everything Eve was supposed to be, but succeeded where Eve failed. Every time the devil looks at Mary, he sees his own failure reflected back at him. There is also a political dimension to this power that we often miss because we don't understand ancient monarchies. In the kingdom of David, the lineage of Jesus, the king had many wives. So the queen was never the wife. The queen was the mother. She was called the Gebira, the great lady. She held an official office in the royal court. She sat at the king's right hand. If you wanted a favor from the king, you didn't go to him directly. You went to his mom. You went to the Gebira. We see this in scripture when King Solomon bows to his mother, sets a throne for her at his right hand, and tells her, "Make your request, my mother, for I will not refuse you." That is the dynamic. Jesus is the new Solomon. Mary is the new Gebira. She isn't just a nice lady. She holds the office of Queen Mother in the kingdom of heaven. Her power to advocate for us isn't based on sentiment. It's based on royal authority given to her by God. Now, you might be thinking, this is all interesting theology, but does it work in the real world? Let's look at the data from the front lines. I'm talking about exorcisms. Father Gabriele Amorth was the chief exorcist of Rome for decades. He dealt with the darkest, most violent manifestations of evil imaginable. He recorded thousands of sessions, and he consistently reported one thing. The demons are more afraid of Mary than they are of the saints, and in a specific way, even more than God himself. That sounds blasphemous, right? How could they fear a creature more than the Creator? Father Amorth asked a demon this exact question during an exorcism. He demanded, "Why are you more afraid when I invoke Mary's name?" The demon replied, and this chills me to the bone, "Because I am more humiliated to be conquered by a simple creature than by him." Think about the psychology of that. Satan is proud. He was the highest seraphim. To be crushed by God, who is omnipotent, is expected. But to be kicked out of a body, to be silenced and commanded by a human woman, that is the ultimate insult. It burns him. It reminds him that a lowly handmaid has a higher place in heaven than he ever did. Modern exorcists like Father Chad Ripperger confirm this. They state that Mary's purity acts like acid on demonic spirits. They are beings of filth. She is the Immaculate Conception. Her presence is a blinding light that scorches them. This isn't just stories from the Middle Ages. This is happening right now in exorcism rooms around the world. When the priest invokes Mary, the reaction is violent, immediate, and terrified. So how does this apply to you? What is Mary's role in your judgment? We often hear about divine judgment and get scared. We picture a courtroom, but in this courtroom, Mary is your defense attorney. The Church calls her the mediatrix of all graces. This means she stands between the judge and the accused. She pleads our case, not by lying, but by covering us with her merits. There is an old prayer called the Memorare, that contains a bold claim. Never was it known that anyone who fled to thy protection was left unaided. Never. That is a 100% success rate. Revelation 12 describes the woman being given eagle's wings to fly to a place of refuge. When you fly to her, you are entering a fortress that the dragon cannot breach, so what do we do? How do we access this power? We don't need a degree in theology. We need a weapon, and we have one. The rosary. I know you see it as an old lady's necklace, but Padre Pio, a saint who physically wrestled with demons, called the rosary the weapon. Not a weapon, the weapon. Pope Pius XIX said, "Give me an army saying the rosary and I will conquer the world." When you pray the rosary, you are meditating on the life of Christ, which fills your mind with truth. But you are also rhythmically invoking the name of Mary. Exorcists have said that every Hail Mary is like a physical blow to the head of the enemy. It is a spiritual hammer. History proves this. In 1571, the Ottoman Empire was poised to overrun Europe. The Christian fleet was outnumbered, outgunned, and facing total annihilation. Pope Pius V didn't send more ships. He ordered the whole of Europe to pray the rosary. On October 7th, at the Battle of Lepanto, the wind literally shifted. The Christian fleet won a victory that defied all logic. They didn't win by strategy alone. They won because they called on the Queen of Heaven. This is the reality. We are in a war. The stakes are your soul and the souls of your family. You can try to fight this lion with your own strength, with your own willpower, and you will probably lose. Or you can enlist the commander. Here is my challenge to you. It's simple, but it's difficult. Pick up the weapon. Commit to praying the rosary. Maybe not all at once. Start with a decade. But do it. Consecrate yourself to her. Say, "Mary, I am yours. Protect me. Fight for me. Test it. See if the anxiety doesn't lift. See if the temptations don't lose their grip. See if the atmosphere in your home doesn't change. The gentle mother is also the terrible warrior. She is waiting for your permission to enter the battlefield of your life. Let her in. If this deep dive opened your eyes to the spiritual reality around you, hit that like button and subscribe. We are building a community here that takes faith seriously. Share this with someone who is fighting a hard battle right now. They might just need to know they have a queen on their side. I'll see you in the next one.